Have you ever found yourself standing in the ruins of your plans, asking the silent sky, why me? It's a question as old as suffering itself. Disaster strikes, suddenly, brutally, and in its wake, you're left with the shattered pieces of a life you thought you knew. You lose your job, someone you love leaves, your business, once so promising, collapses into dust. Dreams dissolve, and hope feels like a cruel joke. It's tempting to curse fate or to believe that life has singled you out for pain. But what if, just what if, these darkest days are not punishments, but invitations? We all resist change. There's comfort in the familiar, even when that familiarity chafes or stifles us. We cling to routines, habits, relationships, sometimes long past their expiration date because they're known, safe at least in their predictability. But life, ever the patient teacher, knows that real growth never comes from comfort. Growth demands a rupture, a breaking open. So life whispers at first, a nagging sense that something isn't right. You ignore it, rationalize it away. The whispers grow louder. Maybe it's a job that drains you, a relationship that's gone cold, a persistent restlessness that tugs at your soul. Still, you push these warnings to the background, but life refuses to be ignored. When whispers don't work, it sends a sledgehammer. Suddenly, you're laid off, your partner leaves, your business fails, and in that moment, the world feels like it's ending. But look closer. These breakdowns are often the starting point of breakthroughs. Think about the times you truly changed. Was it when everything was smooth and effortless? Or when you were brought to your knees, stripped of your illusions, forced to confront the raw reality of your situation? The truth is, we change only when we have to. The doctor's warning finally makes you clean up your diet. The looming deadline forces you to study. The threat of bankruptcy sparks a bold new idea. The crisis in your marriage prompts you to say the words you should have said long ago. When there's no way out but through, we discover reserves of strength and courage we never knew we had. Disaster, as much as we fear it, is a powerful teacher. Success is celebrated, but it rarely leaves us wiser. It's pain, failure, and loss that carve wisdom into our bones. It's suffering that forces us to examine our lives, to ask questions we'd rather avoid, to grow in ways we never imagined. Consider Mary. She was devastated when her boyfriend broke up with her. For a week, she wept, convinced her world was over. But then, something shifted. She called up friends she'd neglected, landed a new job, and found a new apartment. 6 months later, she was happier and more confident than ever. Looking back, she realized that breakup, which felt like disaster, was actually the catalyst for the life she truly wanted. Or Break, who was fired and rejected from every job he applied for. In desperation, he started a small shop. It was tough, but for the first time, he felt alive, building something of his own. What began as failure became the foundation of a meaningful life. These stories aren't rare. They're the rule, not the exception. What feels like an ending is often the beginning of something better. Life, in its mysterious wisdom, sends us lessons tailored to our growth. Ignore the gentle nudges and the lessons get louder, more insistent. But why do some people seem to stumble from disaster to disaster, while others glide through life with hardly a scratch? It's tempting to think it's all luck, but often it comes down to lessons learned or avoided. Each of us carries a unique curriculum, shaped by our beliefs, habits, and wounds. If you don't learn the lesson, life repeats the test. Lose your job, find another, but carry the same resentments and self-doubt? The pattern repeats. End a toxic relationship, only to find yourself in another just like it? The lesson returns, in a new disguise. How we respond to life's challenges matters deeply. Some people see life as a sequence of perfectly timed lessons, each designed for their growth. This mindset brings peace and meaning, even in hardship. Others treat life as random, riding out the highs and lows without searching for meaning. Then there are those who see themselves as victims, cursed by fate. This mindset breeds bitterness and suffering. No one is holding you back except you. You can move to a new city, start a new job, find new friends. But if you bring the same limiting beliefs, the same unresolved wounds, nothing changes. Fred tried to escape his debt by moving, only to fall into the same patterns. Gail left home to escape financial conflict, only to marry into the same dynamic. Jim went to the Himalayas seeking enlightenment, but found only discomfort and longing for home. The real transformation happens inside. Change your inner world, and your outer world follows. Every person you meet is a teacher, every challenge a lesson. The noisy neighbor, the difficult boss, the friend who betrays you, they're all mirrors reflecting back your triggers, your limits, your blind spots. Try to escape before learning the lesson, and life will simply bring you another teacher, dressed in different clothes. Life is a staircase. Each job, relationship, challenge is a step. Try to skip steps and you fall. Strengthen the step you're on and you rise. Don't despise where you are. Use it as the foundation for your next ascent. Happiness isn't a destination waiting for you at the end of a long road. It's found in how you travel, in your willingness to engage with each moment, each challenge, each lesson. You tell yourself, I'll be happy when I get the promotion, when I finish the renovation, when my kids grow up. But as soon as one problem is solved, another appears. Life never stops. Real happiness is found in presence, in accepting the journey as it is. Not everyone is ready for your lessons. Maybe you find a book that changes your life. You give it to a friend, eager to share the wisdom, but they never read it. Why? Because they're not ready. Growth can't be forced. Each person learns at their own pace, in their own time. Be patient with yourself and with others. Disasters break us open, but through the cracks, light enters. Suffering strips away what no longer serves us, revealing new possibilities. You lose the job you hated and discover a new passion. The relationship that ended forces you to rediscover your worth. Illness slows you down, and in the stillness, you find a new purpose. You're not being punished, you're being transformed. Life is a school, and you're always enrolled. You're here to grow, to evolve, to understand, to love. As long as you're breathing, you're learning. You may wish it were easier, may envy those who seem to have it made, but everyone is carrying something. The person with the big house and fancy car might be battling loneliness, lawsuits, or heartbreak. No one escapes life's lessons. The curriculum is universal, though the tests are tailored to each of us. There is no shortcut. The only way out is through. You can't skip the hard parts. If you fear loneliness, life will keep offering situations that trigger that fear until you face it and discover your own company. If you fear failure, you'll keep stumbling until you realize failure is just a stepping stone to growth. Even those who hurt you are teachers. They show you where your work is, where your wounds still fester. Once you learn the lesson, you're free. The patterns stop repeating. The pain loses its grip. So the next time disaster strikes, ask not, why me? But what is this here to teach me? Lean in, listen. The lesson may not reveal itself right away. Sometimes it takes months or years to see the gift in the pain. But trust that it's there. You were never lost. You were never broken. You were learning. The heartbreak, the job loss, the rock bottom moment, they're all part of a larger curriculum. One you might not have chosen, but one that's shaping you into the person you're meant to be. So when life hits you with a brick, don't shrink away. Ask, what is this here to teach me? Embrace the lesson, because the sooner you learn, the sooner you rise. Imagine for a moment that every challenge you faced, every moment of despair, was not random or meaningless, but a carefully placed stepping stone on your path. What if loss is there to teach you gratitude? What if betrayal is there to teach you boundaries and self-respect? What if failure is there to build resilience, to soften your judgment of yourself and others? What if each time you stumble, the universe is whispering, you're more than you think you are. There's more for you to become. And each time you get back up, you prove it true. Think of the greatest heroes you admire. Artists, leaders, visionaries. None of them walked an easy road. Their stories are filled with setbacks, heartbreaks, and failures. But these dark chapters didn't destroy them, they forged them. They learned, adapted, and grew. We live in a society obsessed with ease and comfort. We're told to chase happiness, to avoid pain, to seek pleasure. But real happiness isn't found in avoiding life's storms. It's found in learning to dance in the rain. It's found in discovering your own strength, your own capacity for love and forgiveness, your own resilience. So if you're in the midst of disaster, know this: you are not alone. Every person you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Every heart has been broken. Every dream has been tested. We are all students in this great school called life. And here's the secret: the lessons never end. There is no final exam, no graduation. As long as you're alive, you're learning. Sometimes the lessons are gentle, sometimes they're fierce, but always they are meant for your good. So when you face loss, ask, what is this teaching me about letting go? When you face betrayal, ask, what is this teaching me about trust and self-worth? When you face failure, ask, what is this teaching me about persistence and humility? The answers may not come easily. They may require you to sit with discomfort, to look at parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. But on the other side of that struggle is freedom, growth, and a deeper sense of purpose. Remember, you are not being punished, you are being prepared. For what? Only time will tell. But know that every disaster carries within it the seeds of transformation. Every ending is also a beginning. So, the next time you find yourself asking, why do bad things keep happening to me? Pause. Take a breath and consider. Perhaps these bad things are really the best things in disguise. Perhaps they are invitations to become who you were always meant to be. In your darkest moments, look for the lesson. Lean into the pain, not away from it. Trust that, with time and courage, you will rise, not in spite of your struggles, but because of them. Your life has meaning, even in the pain, especially in the pain. You are learning, growing, evolving. You are being shaped by life's greatest teacher, experience. So, embrace the journey, embrace the lessons, and when disaster comes, because it will, remember, this too is a doorway. Step through it with an open heart and watch as your life transforms in ways you never imagined possible.